Good morning, children. So, I am once again here to take your English class. In my previous class, I had already completed a chapter along with the question answers with you. So, today I am going to start a new chapter with you, a new topic, and it is a Turkish judge, chapter number 3. Here I am going to begin with the initial lines of this chapter. Listen it and pay attention. Okay? Emperor Akbar once dropped his ring in the court and then could not find it. Do not worry, your majesty, said Birbal. I will find your ring right away. Turning to the courtiers, he announced, Your Majesty, the courtier who has a straw in his beard has stolen your ring. This is how Birbal tried to convince Akbar that the person who has the straw in his beard has stolen your ring. This is what we get here in the initial lines of the story. So let us go to the main chapter now. Folktales are short stories that have been verbally passed on from one generation to another. Here is a Turkish folktale about the Turkish caliph. Caliph means the head of any state. Okay, he is called a caliph. Okay, and the name of the caliph here is Harun al-Rashid, who ruled Baghdad and northern Turkey. His life and his court have been the subject of many such stories. Let us read the story about a wise Qadi. Qadi is a judge, a very wise judge, who helped the Caliph in the time of trouble. Anytime the king was found to be in any trouble or difficulty, at that time this Qadi was found to be there to solve the problems of the Caliph. So let us go with the first paragraph here, children. The city of Baghdad flourished under its just and upright Caliph. In those times, the city of Baghdad was getting developed day by day because of a very just and upright Caliph. Caliph was very just to all and very wise person who used to take care of his subjects very well. Because of that, the city of Baghdad was flourishing day by day. Wanting to see for himself how his people fared, the Caliph disguised himself as a common traveler, mounted his steed and rode until he came to the outskirts of town of Basra. One day he decides to go for a visit to his own kingdom, various territories of his kingdom, so that he could find out how his people were living, how they were maintaining their livelihood, what were their complaints, how do the people behave, their difficulties, their sorrows, what were the various kind of situation that his people were facing which would be very trouble for them. In order to find out all these things, whether his people were happy or not in his kingdom, everything, that is what he wanted to find it out, whether the people were feeling just or not, whether they are satisfied or not. For this, one day he decides to disguise himself. He makes his appearance change. To disguise means to change the appearance of oneself. Okay, then goes to visit to the various places riding on his horse. Steed means horse, and reaches to the outskirts of his town, very end part of his place called Basra. There he saw an old man sitting by the roadside. This is the sight he finds over there. An old man was just sitting near by the roadside. Help me, implored the old man. As soon as the old man notices that someone is coming ahead near to him, he seeks help from him. Please help me. That is how the old man just makes a call. Implored here it means asked somebody to do something in an earnest way, means a request, a kind of request that the old man makes over here. The Caliph stopped and asked, "Old man, where are you going?" The Caliph also, as he was out here for the same purpose, to solve the distress of his people, to solve the problems of his people, when he notices that an old man is in problem, that is why he asks him, "What is your problem? Where are you going? In which direction you are going ahead? Where is your destination? Where you want to reach?" This is how he inquires everything from that old man. The Caliph stopped and asked, "Old man, where are you going?" "I am on my way to Basra. I am going ahead towards to the place called Basra," answered the old man. The Caliph put out his hand and helped the old man onto the steed's back. The Caliph also, he just spreads his hand in order to help to the old man and just make him to ride over his horseback, and then they both of them together they rode towards to the city of Basra. So this is what we come to study here in this page, that is page number 42 of this chapter, children. Let us proceed ahead towards to the next page, that is page number 43. When they reached the town square, the Caliph said to the old man, now after having a ride for a long distance, finally they happens to reach to a town. Town square means the town, the locality of that town. Okay, and then after reaching there, the Caliph said to the old man, "Alight." After all, the old man's destination was also this particular place, so called here as Basra. So when the Caliph realizes they had already reached Basra, so he says, "Dear old man, you have reached your place. Please get down." Alight means please get down from the hearse. "You have reached your destination, but I have to ride further. You have reached your place, but I have to go ahead more further." This is how the Caliph tells to the old man. "Alight yourself," answered the old man rudely. But instead of getting down from the horse, the old man orders the Caliph. Instead, what he says, "You get down from this horse." "Alight yourself," answered the old man rudely. That's also in a very rude voice. Okay, "The horse is mine." See the courage of the old man here. He is not only liking to get down from the Caliph's horse, but also he is saying, "The horse is mine, it belongs to me." The Caliph was taken back in this way. The Caliph was very surprised. He couldn't understand what is going on. Ungrateful man, he cried, Did I not pick you up from the roadside and bring you here? How ungrateful you are. My dear old man, I have helped you. You were just nearby the roadside. You were asking for help. I gave you the help. I just gave you the lift on my horseback and I have brought you here. And you are saying to me to get down, and your horse is yours. What an ungrateful man you are. This is how the Caliph tells to the old man. Very true, replied the old man, very cunningly. But can you prove it? As you are saying this horse is yours, what proof you have? Can you prove it that this horse is yours? After all, I am also a stranger in this town and you are also a stranger in this town. How can you prove that this horse is yours? I am a stranger in Basra and so you are. It is your word against mine. Give me the horse and be on your way. This is how the old man very rudely demands the horse from the Caliph and orders him to get down from the horse and go away from there. So this is what we learn from these few paragraphs in this page number 43. Let us move towards to the next paragraph, children. The Caliph was faced with a dilemma. Now he was in a very difficult situation where he had more than 2-3 options to decide. Such a situation is known as dilemma. He knew if he forced the man off the horse, the old man would cry out, a mob would gather and turn against him. Here, if he forcefully make that old man to get down from the horse, then he thought that the old man would be making loud cries, because of which maybe the all around the surrounding people, the mob, the crowd would gather, and most probably the entire people might be going against him. This is what he thought. Okay. Then on the other hand, if he gave him 10 gold coins, the old man would let him ride away, but then he would be encouraged to cheat other people in the same way. Some other thoughts it developed into the mind of the caliph. If he liked to give him some gold coins, maybe at the moment the old man would be letting him to go in his own horse, but that would be like it would be such a case like the emperor, the caliph himself would be trying to encourage the old man for such a wrong step that with what he had taken. So that is what today how he had been cheated in a similar manner. Maybe in the coming days in the future, the old man would be much more encouraged to cheat some more other people. This is what the king thought. Okay. The caliph thought for a while and then he said to himself, for this reason, children, he thought for a moment and then finally he said something to himself. I will go before the Qadi of Basra and ask him to settle the case. So finally he decides better to go to the Qadi of Basra. Who is Qadi? A judge who decides the cases. He decides to go to the Qadi of Basra, judge of Basra, so that he could make a good settlement over here by lodging a case. I may lose my horse in the doing so. He was in doubt. The caliph was in doubt, maybe in this case which he is going to lodge to the judge, maybe he is going to lose his horse, but still what he is going to realize and find it out, it was that whether the judge of this locality, that is Basra, Qadi of Basra, is liable enough, capable enough to decide the various kinds of cases or dispute or not. In this way, it would be like a test to the Qadi of Basra too. That is why finally he decides to go and meet with the Qadi of Basra and settle the case. Let's go to the Qadi then, said Caliph to the old man. So finally, Caliph says, let's go to the Qadi and decide our case. The old man agreed. So they went to the place where the Qadi was holding court. In this way, finally, they happened to reach to that place where at that moment, Qadi was also found to be very busy holding his court. Two men stood before the Qadi. There were two men, those who were standing right in front of Qadi when they happened to reach there. An oil merchant and a potter. These two were the people. In his hand, the potter held a piece of gold. The potter was holding a piece of gold in his hand, which he claimed of his. And the potter was claiming that this gold belongs to me. Your Honor, said the oil merchant. And the oil merchant speak, that coin belongs to me. This oil merchant also claims, this coin belongs to me. I have owned it for many years. I am the owner of this coin for many years. Okay. And always carry it. I lost it today. Right today itself, I have lost this coin, and this person, the potter, says that it is belong to him. This is what the case. It was in front of the caliph to decide now when these two, caliph as well as the old man, happen to reach over there. Are there any witnesses? Asked the Qadi. Do you have any witness? Those who have been knowing this case and seen this case, who can say that and give proof for it. Do you have any witness with you? Asks the judge. No, Your Honor, answered the man. And the man says, no, we don't have any such type of proof with us or the witness with us. This is how The man responds. The Qadi asked the men to leave the coin with him and to return to the court the following day. In this way, the Qadi gives the decision to leave that gold coin with him only for a day, and they were supposed to come back the very next day, that the following day. The Caliph was puzzled and he wondered how the Qadi would pronounce a just decision. Now, in this situation, Caliph was found to be very in confusion. How this Qadi is going to decide such case? It was a very difficult case to decide how he is going to give his verdict, his decision. This made the Caliph to think more and more. The next case was called, and two other men approached the Qadi. Now, some more other people had come to decide the case. Now there were two more other people, those who came in front of the Qadi now to decide the case. The next case was called, and two other men approached the Qadi. What is your trade? He asked the first. I am a writer, answered the man. Why are you here? Continued the Qadi. For the first person, Qadi happens to ask, what is your problem? What is your case? What is your trade? You tell me. And the person says, I am a writer. Then if you are a writer, what is your work to come over here? This morning while I was out, someone stole my book of learning. This is how the writer now relates his problem. Okay? This morning while I was outside, so in the right moment someone comes and then happens to steal my learning, my book of learning. That traitor, he said, pointing to the other man. Now the writer points to the other opponent and calls him as a traitor. That traitor, pointing to the other man, now has it and claims that the book is his. This opponent, this traitor tells that this book which is belonging to me, says that now at the moment that belongs to him. This is my problem, says the writer. Did anyone witness the tailors stealing the book? Asked the Qadi. No, your honor, replied the man. Did anyone witness? Do you have any witness? Did anyone see and notice while he was taking away the book? This is the question that it was asked by Qadi. No, your honor, replied the man. The reply was no. The response was no. Very well, said the Qadi. Leave the book with me and return tomorrow. So okay, it's fine. You have to give me that book to me. This book you deposit here to me, submit it here to me, and you go now, and you also come the very next morning. This is how he now makes both of them also to go away at the moment and tell them to come back the very next day. Next, the Qadi called the Caliph and the old man before him and inquired why they had come to the court. In this way, now it is whose turn? These two. That is the Caliph himself and the old man. Both of them were called ahead now and to relate their problems, to state their problems. Before him, inquired why they had come to the court. What is your reason to come here in the court? Your honor, said the Caliph, I am a traveler from a distant land. This man asked for my help, and taking pity on him, I brought him with me to Basra. Now he relates the whole story, how the Caliph had pitied on him and gave him the lift and brought him to this territory of Basra. Everything he relates the story to the in front of the in front of the judge. This is how he says. When I asked him to dismount, he refused, and now he claims that my steed is his. Now after reaching the territory of Basra, when I asked him, now your destination has been reached, you please get down and go to your place. Instead of getting down from my beast, my horse, he claims that this horse itself belongs to him. He refuses, first of all, he refuses to get down from my horse, and secondly, he claims that this horse belongs to him. This is my case. My honor, dear honor, this is how the Caliph now states his all the problems, his case in front of the Caliph. In front of the judge. Okay. Jajkari. Okay, this is what we come to learn here, children, in this page number 44 that we have just now completed. So I hope all of you might have followed the chapter very well and understood it too. If it is so, it is very nice. So today I am going to stop it up to here only. In my next class, I would be continuing the remaining part of the chapter. Please keep on following the chapter and listen it and understand it. And secondly, I would like to tell you, those who have books with you, you might have also bought the workbooks too. So whatever the chapters I have taught till now, chapter 1, 2, this is the third chapter, and a poem 2. So whatever the grammar exercises works are there in those workbooks, as you have already learned the various topics related to these exercises in your English language also, so those who are easy exercises works, you can keep on performing all those exercises works as your homework. Okay, so please do workbook exercises as homework. So this much for today. Thank you so much.